It's just like, oh.
Who is it? Come in.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, brought gifts.
Hey, Jay. You're good, brother.
There's more gifts in the car.
I love your shirt.
I like the fact that you locked both locks. That was amazing. I don't know why.
He doesn't want to get raped. And that's
To be fair.
I'm a vice president.
Also,
your body.
he basically told you live in a bad neighborhood, Omar.
You do live in a bad neighborhood.
Why do I live in a bad
What the
neighborhood?
fuck do you mean he lives in a bad neighborhood?
Well, I don't know if it's bad. It's just
The Jewish
it has
community
bad
said it's right
characteristics.
there.
Wow, Gabe's kind of a bitch.
Where do you live?
As in like mean. I live in yeah.
Nice. Just super fancy. Yes.
I mean, it's a good minute to get.
I thought this neighborhood was like a good neighborhood.
It
Like,
really doesn't
deer-
look bad.
You're in-
It's
Deer
just-
walk around here at
You're
night.
in a very good neighborhood.
It's not a bad
There's no
neighborhood.
crime here.
Deer are stupid
It's
and they
Austin.
run into
No, actually,
There are
that's
no
not.
bad
That's, well, yeah,
neighborhoods.
my little brother's car got broken into.
I mean,
In the parking lot. Yeah, in the parking lot out there
Dang.
at overnight.
But that happens at a bunch of complexes, so that's not the
Yeah.
characteristic of a bad neighborhood.
People just like case the joint and then like
Yeah.
I need to
Did you do it?
Your brother and I have history.
Sam's an accomplice.
I didn't realize that was very Latino of you. I didn't realize.
What?
How did my brother break your heart? Holy shit!
Yeah, you went breaking my heart.
Man.
Oh, do you want to do intro?
Sure. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a bad habit of this.
Oh yeah, sorry. We just started talking and we're like,
All
oh
right,
yeah,
we
we're
just
here to
started
do
going over
something.
there. Yeah. So again, this is the All Regerts podcast.
All regrets.
All Regerts. It's a play on that tattoo that says no regrets. It's a podcast about regrets because me and Sam have a lot of regrets in our life. And
Oh, we
just,
hate everything.
We hate everything. We hate everyone. I'm Omar Gonzalez. That's Sam Narani. We have our two guests coming over here. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Because we forgot your name.
No, I know it's our guests are Aaron Seroussi and Gabe Davis, but they know themselves better than we do.
Ooh, you had to prove it.
Yes,
That
I
was
did.
good. How do you spell Seroussi?
Well, first of all, I call it Seroussi. But that's just
Oh.
me.
Sad Seroussi.
Yes.
He thought he gave himself points, but I took him away.
I didn't know I was supposed to come with a bio. Hi, I'm internationally famous comedian Aaron Seroussi.
Yes.
That's all I have.
He played in the
No.
Cayman Islands recently.
He also has a great podcast called Comedy Pending.
Boom.
We also have our buddy, Gabe Davis.
All right, buddy Gabe Davis.
Yeah, he's a great comedian.
Yeah.
Everything, just headlined himself, so.
Yeah, here, yeah, that was it.
Welcome to the All Regerts podcast, a podcast about regrets with Omar Gonzalez and Sam Narani. I have this one regret that I've been kind of like saving for you a little bit. I remember back like in high school, we used to have like every Friday we'd have like the assemblies for the football team, everything hanging out there. So like every
pep rallies?
yeah, prep rallies. We had prep
Yeah.
rallies every little Friday. But then like one time, I think there was like this like group organizations like the student government had this like little game that they would play.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally, it was like basically kind of like one of those games where like doing like a volleyball thing and stuff like that, where like, but they required you to take your shoes off when they're playing. This part I remember.
Like, did they just buff the gym floor?
I
Why?
think so,
Why
or
take your
something like
shoes
that.
off?
Like it was like a little like one of those silly games.
Like third world game.
There was going to be a sock hop immediately
And the
after.
volleyball was a rock.
No socks.
We had a budget at Riverside High School, so how dare you? That was, if you're talking about bad neighborhoods, that was a bad neighborhood because literally 2 blocks away was a high school called Cesar Chavez Academy, and that's basically you go there when you get kicked out of all the other high schools.
No.
Literally, basically, just tell you how bad this school was. Teachers had to teach students behind a chain link fence.
Wow.
Wow.
That's how bad it was.
Where was this?
Cesar Chavez Academy in El Paso, Texas.
Oh, El Paso.
It's called Academy.
So wait, are the classes outside there?
No, it's inside. He's just like you just walk inside, and then there's basically a chain link fence right there between the teacher.
2 doors to the classroom.
Exactly.
Here's how I'm picturing it. You know, like in certain parts of Houston, after 10 o'clock, if you want to go get cigarettes, there's like you go to the convenience store and they've got like this huge fucking bulletproof thing where they're like, I'll go get those goddamn Cheetos and cigarettes for you. You do not come in here.
I had to buy condoms that way in high school.
Nice.
Once. It was like midnight, and the dude was sitting there, and I was like, condoms. Because I was like, I was a very like nervous high school kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the guy's like, excuse me? I go, condoms. Like looking around, and he's like, what are you saying? And I just go like, condoms.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was that guy, I would make you say it because that just sounds hilarious to me.
You should have had like a breakdown in front of him. Like, I don't want to be a dad.
I'm gonna get laid. Come on, you're not helping.
I had to walk in circles for like a minute just to like get up, like muster the confidence to be able to ask for condoms, like right in front of this guy.
That was so tough when you first buy them. I used to buy them at Walmart when I first started buying condoms.
That's the best place.
And it's such a long walk from the condom section
Yeah.
to the register.
And
So you just try to find ways to hide it in your hand.
Yeah. Okay. So I got a Sam's Club card from my parents. And I went to buy
Did you buy them in bulk?
Yes, I did. I had a
Which is
big
the
box
best way to buy it.
of condoms right there, $60. And then one time, one of my homies sees that in the trunk of my car, and he says, "I guarantee you, Omar's gonna throw away half of that shit." And I just, you know what? I only threw away about a quarter of that shit.
You know what? I appreciate your optimism. That's really cool.
Yes, I was.
The worst condom story I have, and we can pretend this is a regret, but so I was still in high school. I was in an East Austin gas station because I only buy condoms in gas stations apparently.
Fair.
That's the way
And
to do
so
You should buy them in bulk, though. I'm just telling you this right now. But it's great.
I was like a skinny little white kid, and these like 3 black guys walk in, none of them wearing shirts, and they all have like they're all wearing red, and they all have like hella tattoos all over them. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna die because I'm like a little skinny white kid. So I buy condoms, and one of them walks up to me, he's like, you better go hard, man, and like pats me on the back, and then I get nervous and I go, just for you, dude.
That's words of encouragement.
And he looked at me like, what the fuck? And then I just left.
Hilarious.
And did you?
Yeah. Did
For
you shout
him?
him out
Yeah.
halfway through the act?
Yeah. He could hear me, you know?
When you finished in the condom or something like that, did you think of the guy? You're like,
Did
yeah,
you
I was proud
pour a
of
little
you.
bit out for my homie at the.
A little bit over there.
Why is it on my thigh?
It's for my homie.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a
For
character.
you, man.
To this day, every time I have sex, I pour a little out.
Just a little bit up. Condoms, man, they're fun and they suck.
Is that your regret? Colin?
No. Okay, so
I'm
back.
scared now.
So back to when these kids were doing CEO shit in a freaking behind a chain link fence. So we're in this assembly, we're all hanging out, and they basically say, "Hey, we need volunteers for this game that we're gonna play." And then my dumbass, one of my homies goes, "Hey, I think you should go." And I'm like, "Yeah, what? I kind of want to go." So I take off my shoes and I start walking down in front of everybody in the whole school to this little game thing. I didn't know they had plants. They had like literally people that were like volunteering, that were gonna quote unquote volunteer, and I'm walking there like an idiot because they already have. By the time I get there, they already have the plants already showing up there. So like, it's very much like, oh, we can't include you, Omar. We need you to walk back. And I'm walking back so shamefully, where it's like, and everybody in the school just sees me going like, and they're like, "Hey man, they probably need more people over there." And I'm like, "No, I'm cool. I just got benched in front of everybody in the middle of the fucking school." And I so regretted doing that so much. But I feel bad though, because it's like they asked for quote unquote volunteers. And I just felt like I went over there, I gave them volunteers, and I immediately just get rejected because they have like, because I didn't know that they were already having somebody else planning to go up there, and I'm just so embarrassed in front of the whole school, and I'm just like,
Did you get made fun of for it?
did I make what?
Did you get made fun of?
Oh, 100%. That was the part that sucked. Like, everyone just finds out you just get rejected right there when I'm playing a fucking game when they ask for volunteers.
Wait, how would you do that differently then?
Not fucking go. No, probably sat on my ass and did nothing. That's pretty much what I've been doing most of my life.
But what if you like never went and today you're sitting there going, God damn, what happened if I'd gone?
Have you ever been in a situation where they're asking volunteers and then you don't volunteer and then immediately just regret it?
No.
There you go.
Never mind.
Yeah, fair. So I regret doing that and everything. I don't know. What's your regret, Sam?
Have you ever loaned anybody money before?
Yeah.
Yep.
And the regret is I wish I never did because they got weird later. Does that make sense?
That actually makes perfect sense. People
About
get
the money?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it wasn't very much. It was like $150, which we were in our 20s making nothing, so that was a lot.
That's a lot of it.
That's a lot.
But I was like, I saved like a Depression era widow, so so I had money to spare, and also I'm socially stupid, so I was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in my house.
So let me ask you a question: is the padding just from like the $1 bills you've been saving like all your life?
They're $2 bills.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, I have all the $2 bills.
Yes.
A couple weeks later, they were like, I'm gonna pay you back. I'm gonna pay you back, and then they eventually like faded out of my life. I was like, it's okay if you can't pay me back, but can we still be bros?
No, the thing
I
about
made it weird.
Yeah, the thing about lending money to people is that even no matter how much time you lend money or how much you lend money, people kind of resent you for it because
But you asked.
No, I know, but
You
there's a
asked.
shame factor with it. Like, but the fact that you have to ask somebody to lend you money.
All you're telling me is that I was good enough to like cut loose. I can ask her because I don't. She's fine if I never talk to her again. Bye.
Oh man, like yeah, but that's the thing about like.
Now it's a low self-esteem podcast.
No, well, that's all podcasts. Let it be fair. It's just the theme of every single podcast, which is low self-esteem.
Welcome to Insecure.
So if you're imitating someone you know, but it sounds like it's like stereotypical, but this is your like honest impression of a person you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it racist or is it just
How many people know that person?
right?
Yeah.
See?
I mean, racism is. I mean, I can't really speak on it, but like
Yeah,
it's
can.
subjective.
Yeah,
It's
We'll
subjective.
stop
to
you
the,
when you go too far.
Yeah,
You're like, stop now.
But there is racism against white people as well.
Racism subjective. I think racism subjective to the people that are taking it. Kind of. Does that make sense? Like if I were to say something, the people around me decide if it's racist or not. Like I can't decide if what I'm saying is racist.
Fair.
So yeah, because I used to do a bit about this Japanese girl I used to date.
Oh wow!
Oh,
This is a regret.
Guys, you're
This
gonna
is a regret.
shame yourself. Please go ahead.
This is a regret, and I'm probably going to regret this part also.
Yeah, that's fine. You're
We
fine.
regret you starting with this.
No, we
But
don't.
Go on,
Go ahead.
we're all there. We're all
regret.
there.
We
We're-
don't realize our
We're
publication was.
supporting you is what I'm saying.
We're in it now. I haven't done
Yes.
this bit in Austin.
I like the fact that if you haven't done this bit in Austin, it's
Oh
just
my
really in
God.
the ether.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
might not work.
This
Yeah,
is,
it's just gone.
But
Gabe,
yeah,
this is like your debut Austin bit for this weird Japanese thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna do.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
please
curious.
go.
so it's not like I'm not gonna do the bit,
Put
but
your
I'm
hands
gonna do
on
the
your mouth.
accent at least.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
so we used to date, and I used to imitate the things that she would say to me. That's where the joke comes in.
Did she have like a heavy accent?
Yeah, it was very heavy. Like if we
Oh,
talk on
wow.
the phone, I'd be like, I'm like, just text me because I can't understand you.
Oh damn, that's so sad.
But in person,
No, actually,
in person it's
interesting.
easier. But like over the phone, it's really hard to understand her because I can like
Yeah.
see her expressions and go by her body language and figure out what she's saying. To me.
There's more context.
Yeah,
Then you
Yeah.
just need a FaceTime. That's what you were doing wrong.
yeah. Well,
This is flip phone Gabe Davis. That's what it was. This is like the
Slider.
You can send video messages.
He was rich.
Yeah.
He had a slider.
slider, get it right, QWERTY keyboard.
Bitch had a sidekick.
But but no, the I'm not that old. But like the
We're not saying you're that old. We're saying you're that broke. But go ahead.
okay, I'll take it. But no, like the racist part come in because she actually used to say like "oh" before everything, like "oh, da 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 da, oh, da 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 da."
I love that.
And it's like it's not. I didn't think that was racist until like someone told me. It was like that's kind of offensive. It was like how I'm imitating her,
Yeah.
not someone else. So the regret comes all those times. I took on stage and I was like, "Oh, I thought you were gay." She said, "Oh, I thought you were gay."
Aw.
And like, and that's how she used to talk.
Wait. I feel like there's a secondary regret in here. She thought you were gay?
Yeah, because I just wasn't like pushy like enough. Like I wasn't like coming at her hard enough. So instead of her just going, "He's not interested in me," since I didn't come at her hard enough, I must be gay. It was just arrogance on her part.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Okay,
so
how fine was she? I'm judging this.
Maybe.
Was she like really looking
no,
fine?
she was not that fine.
Okay.
She was, that's
She's
another
wanted a
regret.
more
Oh, wow.
But the regret comes from, but it's not like it was the attention. You know, it's like she just gave me her phone number. So I was like, oh wow,
Yeah.
I'm a hot piece of ass.
But
That's my regret.
It is
One
weird.
of my
Like
regrets.
it is
Doing that joke?
Yeah, you don't
Well,
regret doing bits sometimes.
No,
dating
doing,
that lady?
doing it for too long. Like
Yeah.
at one point it was okay. And
But
then
like,
as
don't
time
you
went
have
on, it
that
was
bit
okay.
that like never works because like kind of fucked up, but you're like, I know this is funny.
But it
yeah.
also depends on location. Like, I think a joke like that would work in other places, but in Austin, everybody'd be like, "What the fuck, dude? You're not one of
It's
them."
so offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know her. You can talk to her. She talks just like that.
Should I bring her out? We'll have like a little 2-minute conversation on stage,
Yeah.
and then I'll do my bit.
Yeah.
Although
A lot
do
of regrets center around.
Say
I got a
things
couple.
out
I got a
loud.
couple of regrets within this whole interaction.
I regret showing up. I regret talking to any of you.
So she sent me like a sexy photo once, right?
Oh yes.
And I was kind of like not that receptive to it
Okay, why?
because
Was it sexy to her but not to you? Like,
Are you
wait,
still
Yes.
on the photo?
was it
It was
classy?
sexy
Is
to
that why
her.
you hated it?
it was sexy to her. No, that wasn't classy. It was just like it felt like she just took a picture of her ass and that was it.
No, it could
Yeah,
also
that's fair.
no, it could
was
also
no
be
effort.
like
Yeah.
I don't do this often, but I feel very vulnerable and I like you enough to do a sexy photo. I'm like that. I'm like I don't send pictures because I'm scared of.
But the thing was,
Like-
it wasn't a lot of conversation. It was just boom, picture. And I had woke up from a nap, right? And I did not respond. And then she said, "Do you like?" But no, yeah, the regret was my response. Like at the time, I just made a bad response, and I was just like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
She was like, "Do you like?" I was like, "Yeah."
Those responses that you make. That,
My response was so bad because I was just trying to go back to sleep, and it woke me up.
yeah.
And then after that, I was like, "Oh man, I responded horribly to that."
Did you make up for it?
I didn't know how to, so I just kind of let it sit.
Yeah.
And then like the next day, talk to her again. It just didn't acknowledge it.
How
Yeah.
old were you during this whole relationship?
It's like maybe 25, 26.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still.
Yeah.
This wasn't last year. Like this was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
25.
yeah.
I've learned since
Yeah,
then.
Yeah,
Everybody.
I'm better at it.
Any single ladies listening,
Yeah,
Gabe
yeah,
has
yeah.
learned.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you want me to say?
A lot of my bits are like comedy. A lot of regrets of mine are like comedy.
Yeah.
So like just with bits I used to do. But the bit I feel like I did well, I was like, oh okay, I could probably continue to do this.
Yeah.
For a while now, you know. I used to do this joke about being like not wanting kids
Yeah.
and not like just being afraid of them to the point where I don't take the condom off until I get home. And-
I think my biggest comedy regret is just that I'm not a very sociable person, so I don't socialize with people very well.
It's hard to.
It's so hard, but like people don't understand how much nepotism goes into comedy, which like it's fair.
Yes.
Nepotism goes into everything,
And
but
yeah, because it's like I know you, I trust you, but I don't know you, so I can't trust you.
Yeah.
It's a very human.
it's
bullshit
interesting,
thing.
and yeah, you can kill it just through nepotism, and it's interesting. It's interesting to watch, but like talking to random people and like making friends is the thing I'm probably in the worst at with comedy.
So how have you been like working on it to make
On
it
it?
a little bit easier?
Um,
Or you
honestly, I ever since like I've been doing comedy since I was 18, but I haven't really taken it seriously until January.
Was it more like a hobby thing for you before?
No, it was something I like actively wanted to pursue, but like I would like go to mics and like with the not talking to anyone thing, like
Yeah.
I just wouldn't talk to anyone. I would go, I'd perform, I'd bomb, and then I'd leave. And so then, like, in January, I started going to more mics. I started to actually talk to people. And, like, that itself, like, improved my comedy, but it also just, like, made it easier to go out.
Yeah, it's like I don't have to, like, struggle to figure out how to kill my time in between my set. It's more of like a comfortable environment now. I'm with my peers, not just these people that I'm doing a thing with.
But yeah, it's a weird thing, and I like still struggle with like meeting new people in comedy and like making connections.
Yeah, and it's always like a new influx of people that come through. So it's kind of like, is this a redo or is this more of the same bullshit? What do I have to do here? I think, honestly, once you're already working through being kind of awkward around socializing stuff. No.
He said no.
Oh, you're out? Alright, dude. Yeah, but once you get more comfortable with the socializing aspect, and you've noticed it yourself, like it's easier to get on stage, it's easier. There's less of a pep talk to be like, go do a fucking mic tonight, dude. Yeah. That's my insight.
I feel like there's a point that pep talk kicks back in again though, when you're like, you should go out.
Before we forget, do you guys want to plug your social medias?
Follow my podcast, the Comedy Pending Podcast. We are on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow my Instagram, Aaron.comedy. That's all.
Is it dot as in a dot or spelled out?
I say dot and like, of course it's a dot. It's be too hard to say D-O-T.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would have spelled it D-O-T just to fuck with people. But that's just me. It's a dot. It's a regular dot, guys. Don't
period.
spell it.
Aaron period comedy.
Okay, so like period as in time frame or menstruation?
Menstruation, what you need to do is you need to write Aaron, and then you have to bleed on your phone physically, and then write comedy, and my Instagram will come up.
Does it matter which limb I bleed from?
Which limb? Yes.
Oh. Go ahead. All right, and Aaron just walked away.
To be fair, he's been
I drove another man away. Is what happened.
You know what that means?
Did
Your
you
single
hear that?
girlfriend.
The door slammed. What is
God damn.
We have fun here.
Yes, we do.
Oh, we're all dying inside.
How it goes. Thank you for listening to the All Regerts podcast with Sam Narani and Omar Gonzalez. Remember this, just because you have regrets doesn't mean you cannot live life as if you have no regrets.